What's up, guys? I want to show you the things that actually set ecom brands like this that you see here, our case studies on the screen, apart from brands that actually don't make money at all, including a case study where we've actually made over $400,000 a month in active MRR. Okay, so this is proven, and everything here I'll tell you guys is based off of my experience, and that's all I can they tell you about. And every other person on YouTube that tries to talk to you about anything random, any crazy funnel stuff, any crazy ad stuff, knows this probably, but they just don't. But it's not really, it doesn't really sound cool. And so the thing I specifically want to talk about is the difference between the CPA and the actual LTV within brands. And so what I'm specifically talking about is when you look at specifically a bunch of ad accounts, right? When you have a bunch of them in front of you and you see them consistently every single day, screenshots, calls, screen shares, everything, you're going to realize that at scale, most brands are operating between a CPA of $25 and $60. That's it. That's a $35 difference. A $35 range of brands that have a completely different niche, completely different industry, completely different scale. One of them is a 1K day, one of them is a 10K day, one of them is more. Okay. The main difference isn't in CPA. This is not where you make your money. Everyone on YouTube, think back, when have you last watched an e-commerce video when someone has not talked about how to advertise their business better? This is a $35 range. Every single e-com video that you've watched so far has talked about this $35 range, how to make it a little bit lower, how to go from 60 to 55 or to 50 or to 40 or to 25 or maybe even lower than that, right? Which is bullshit because it doesn't work anyways. Now, I'm going to show you how it does work instead. Because when you look at specifically closely, okay, why is one of those brands not making money at all? Why is one of those brands at 1K days and why is one of them brands at 10K days, and why is one of them even higher? Was how much money they make each customer, the lifetime value of each customer that they get. And that is actually an average between $40 and $300 and sometimes even more. And this is only dependent on specifically two things. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. Specifically, really good MRR offers, so monthly recurring revenue offers, and how to actually get the AOV up each ad, right? And I want to talk about these two things in this video. So regarding the MRR offer, what this is basically a subscription. And if this basically makes sense every single time that you have a product which can either be sold as a subscription, so it's a consumable, or it's something where you can actually add in, like we recommend type of subscription where, every 3 months or so you recommend a replacement. So this is a shower head which has a new filter. This is a, let's say like a knee sleeve product that has, that kind of loses its compression effect after 3 months. Anything like that, you can also turn into consumables and have subscription offers run. Obviously, the easiest thing would be supplements for this, right? A couple tips for MRR offers, right? So you don't waste your time. First of all, don't use Shop Pay, the payment option, because you're just going to get all the payments that basically fail. Then 2 weeks in, every single person that subscribes, send them a backup payment method reminder. So an email that says, hey, you get a store credit, a little bit like $20 or whatever, if you actually add a backup payment method right now. And they're going to do that because it's still 2 weeks after the next charge. They don't care about that. It's not like emotional. Product just arrived. They just started using it. Maybe they kind of placebo started having their first effects. Yes, let me just put in my backup payment method. Cool. Okay. Now you reduce failed payments. Congratulations, right? Next thing is have no subscriptions that are above $100 of every single order. And the reason why is because you're going to get a very high failed payments rate because of insufficient funds on the card, because of rejected cards, etc., etc., etc. Right? 1 day before the charge, remind them. You don't want to scam anyone. This is not black hat MRR. This is the actual proper good MRR. And send out surveys and work on your customer experience. This is like, if you thought about, okay, well, how do I get here and make more money per customer? This is what most dropshippers don't talk about. You have to force yourself, and this MRR really forces you to get good at product. Most people talk about how to advertise, but advertising is just 1 out of 3 parts of running a business. Advertise, deliver, and build. Building is like, building a team and obviously having the systems in place. Advertising is what everyone on YouTube talks about. Deliver is the product and the customer experience and the shipping and everything around that. And so this is what that forces you to get really good at. And that's what ultimately a business is about. If you talk to any dropshipper, where the dropshipper mindset almost is like, oh, the second that the customer gives you money, the business is over. No, that's when the business starts. That's when you have to start performing. That's not when anything is over. That's when it starts. And that's the cool thing. An MRR offer forces you, or is very honest to you in terms of, okay, how good is your actual experience? And if you don't work on it, it's not going to be good from nothing. From nothing, there's nothing that comes, okay? Super important. And the AOV each ad is a pretty cool trick that you can do in terms of actually getting the average order value up despite having an MRR offer or not. And so what I mean by this is To understand this, basically, you have to understand the concept that the conversion rates and the AAV depend on every single ad that you run very individually. So you're going to have ads that have a 1% conversion rate, you're going to have ads that don't convert at all, and you're going to have ads that have a 10% conversion rate. And the difference is, okay, how many disqualifiers are in that ad? How much do I resonate with my audience, etc., etc. And so to basically kind of extend that even further, you have to understand that this does not only apply to the conversion rate, but also to your average order value. This is where it gets interesting, because when you actually showcase, for example, more than just one product, right, inside of your ad, let's say it's an image ad, instead of just showing one, you show 3 bottles, you show all the tastes that are available, etc., etc. What happens is people actually understand, okay, it might have a benefit, a social benefit of me getting multiple. It might have an actual same benefit, just more if I get more, and all these kinds of things. And the cool thing is, if you talk about the stretched benefits, you'll have the combination of both, because you have a higher take rate on the subscription offer and you have higher AOVs because you attract better quality customers. And so this is the contrast between, we really want to point out here, which is the difference between immediate benefits versus stretched benefits. And the difference really is that you have to, first of all, talk about obviously how quickly your product really works, but the actual value comes from the long-term benefit. What does it bring long-term? Does it have any side effects? No? Then that's objection handling that you do in the ad. Does it have any other more longer-term effects? Is there any proof, studies? Is there any social proof, authorities that they can follow? And these things will actually attract better quality customers than these things, because if someone doesn't want to put in the work, they also likely don't want to pay a lot of money. It's always the worst quality customers. Then if you tell them, hey, you're gonna have to, use our product to lose weight, but you're gonna have to put in the work, then we can just provide this much value and the rest is gonna be completely and utterly dependent on you. Those are actually the customers you want to deal with, because they spend more, they stay longer, have higher brand loyalty, and have a higher likelihood of actually recommending you to one of their friends. So keep this in mind. Get really good at product. Don't just get good at advertising, but actually focus on your business and focus on building something that you can be proud of. Thank you so much for giving me your most important asset. That's pretty much it for this video. I hope to see you next time. I wish you a beautiful day.